What's up, guys? We are back. Coach AB alongside my co-host Tom Merck. And today we're going to be discussing how you can drink these 3 drinks and they'll help you to lose weight. There's magic out there. These 3 things that we're about to reveal are going to help you to lose the weight. This is the missing thing that you've been waiting for. A little bit of a clickbaity title today, right? But I think sometimes we forget like the importance of things, and sometimes we have to put them in context where you can say, okay, yeah, that's a good point. I really need to start doing that. So I think these 3 things that we're going to discuss are going to be game changers for people. That's it. It's just what it is. But Tom, what's going on, bud?
Not much. I'm ready to spill the 3 secret drinks.
So Tom's a little tired today, guys. So if his voice sounds a little like, he's going to take a nap right now, it's because he did cardio before this.
I did the good kind of cardio, sprints.
Yeah, it's still cardio, man.
Yeah.
That's it. All the gains are lost when you do cardio.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
That's it. Hopefully you made up for it. It's like curls right after, because then it's all right. Then you're anabolic again.
I did not do arms today.
No. Oh, Tom.
Today was all conditioning, so I'm a cardio bunny, like full-blown cardio bunny to the max.
Tom. Well, anyway, guys, let's discuss. So Tom's sipping something over there, so this is a perfect segue into drink number 1 in order to lose weight. And this one's going to be like one of those things like, really? But sometimes we're here to remind you of things more than we are to teach you new things. Because sometimes when we forget, that's what happens. We forget and then we don't do it. So drink number 1, H2O. Good old fashioned water. I say it with the Brooklyn accent. Water. Water is so important. Again, just for overall health. Obviously, I think you can only live like how many? I think it's, what is it? A week or 2 weeks without food, and then like 3 days without water or something like that, and you'd be dead. So you need water. Water is obviously vital for everything. But when it comes to weight loss, water is very important for a lot of reasons. So one, obviously water takes up room in your stomach. So when you're hungry, if you drink a big glass of water, typically that'll calm down that craving. 2, water is very important for keeping your kidneys, nice and healthy and flushing out fat. So obviously if you're a little bit dehydrated, your body's not going to optimally burn fat. So you need to make sure you're plenty hydrated. And then besides the fact that most of us listening to this actually lift weights and work out, you're going to obviously need water to help hydrate you and give you energy. So water is obviously very, very important when it comes to weight loss. This is like a basic thing. This is almost kind of like everyone knows they should be drinking water, right? But I feel like we forget sometimes. We get caught up in our day and we just don't. So let's talk about like recommendations for water. How much water should the average person looking to lose weight actually consume? Because there's a lot of myths going on around that with that as well. So What do you think, Tom? What's like your general recommendation as I look for my bottle of water?
Well, I mean, there's definitely a lot of like I would say rules or guidelines to follow water. Or like water intake throughout the day. But I think if you're not obese, you could probably start with about half of your body weight in ounces per day, and then just see if that's enough for you. And then you could always use like the urine scale, which is like if your urine is like really, really like glowing, you're probably in need of more water, right? And then you could say, all right, well, if your urine is more clear, if there's like a very slight hint of like yellow to it, then you're probably more hydrated. So you probably don't need as much water. But I would say that, starting with about a half of your body weight in ounces per day, and then seeing how that goes, seeing if you're hydrated, and then you can work your way up to maybe your body weight in ounces.
Yeah, I think that's a good general rule. I like to, for me, how I remember is I just carry around my jug. This is a half a gallon. For those of you watching on YouTube, this is a half a gallon thing. I fill it twice. I fill it right from the tap. A lot of people are like, oh, no, don't do that.
Oh, no.
But right from the tap. Again, it's convenient for me. I keep it with me. Sometimes I forget it, but I keep it with me, and it just helps me get my water intake in. I consume a lot of my water around my workout time. It's usually when I consume a lot of my water for the day. But again, as long as you're getting it, and like Tom says, you kind of use the P test. and you analyze the color of your urine. If it's too dark, then you definitely need more water. So you got to monitor that constantly throughout the day. But yep, water. And again, one of the other things that people don't talk about with water is if you're retaining water. So let's say you had a really salty meal yesterday, I don't know, whatever you ate, and in order, you're going to be holding on to that water today, like that extra sodium, that extra water. So by consuming water today, extra water today, you're going to essentially flush out that last bit of water. So it's always good, again, just for proper weight fluctuations and things like that, to try to consume the same amount of water every day. Remember, the more water you intake, the more water you're going to get rid of. And it's 2022 right now, and I can't believe I'm even about to say this, but some people still think that, oh, I feel bloated, so I'm not going to drink any water because I feel bloated. And it works the total opposite of that.
Yeah.
Remember, when your body doesn't feel like it's getting enough water, it's going to hold on to water because your body's main goal is to keep you alive. So if you give your body more water, your body's going to say, oh, I have enough of this, I can get rid of the extra. So you just got to remember that. So water is good for that reason as well. Did we miss anything about water, Tom? I feel like we covered a lot about water. I don't think we need to.
I mean, I guess you could talk about like how important or how dangerous dehydration is. When you're dehydrated, like your body will literally shut down. I had a friend, and I think he was in the army, and he was doing like a run, and he said, he's saying, I was dehydrated, so I was running, and I literally shut off, and I just hit the floor. And then I blacked out. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I couldn't, like, muscular control gone, hit the floor, blacked out a second later. Then I woke up with an IV. So I was like, oh, you're like really dehydrated then. So, and it was hot out too, so you're sweating and stuff. But what is it? I think for every for 1% dehydrated, you're 10% going to drop your performance.
Yeah. Yep.
I believe that's correct.
Yep.
Somebody fact check me, but 1% dehydration for your body is going to mean that your performance drops by 10%. So you're probably not trying to be an elite athlete or anything, but if you're just trying to perform well in the gym, 10% is still 10%. That's a lot. You don't want to lose any of that.
Well, hydrated muscle is also a stronger muscle. It's going to contract better. And again, like you said, you're going to have better performance. Like your friend who was running, obviously probably wasn't running that fast when they passed out. Like they weren't running at like a peak run. He probably felt it before that. Your body gives you signals when you need water. So his body was probably giving him signals, and he didn't answer them for whatever reason, and that's what happened. So, you just need to keep that in mind. And that was a good point to bring that up, Tom, because a lot of people walk around dehydrated.
Yeah. And I think the efficiencies in most Americans is they're mildly dehydrated like every day.
Yeah.
So
I think it's more prevalent in the wintertime too, because people are colder, especially here in New York. They're colder. They don't feel like they need to drink as much because they're just colder. They're not sweating. But in fact, you need more of it because obviously if it's colder, you have the heat on your house. The heat's going to evaporate and you're not going to have, you're going to need more water. Think about it. At night when the heat's on, you usually wake up really thirsty because the heat's on. So you have to, and you're probably sweating at night too and things like that. So you got to keep that in mind. And one other thing that I actually wanted to bring up with water, because we get this all the time, I need help getting in my water. How do I get more water in? So a good way to do that is by flavoring your water, and you can flavor it with whatever you want. Some people put, lemon in their water, fruits in their water. You could put like a Crystal Light packet or what is those squeeze ones? Mio.
Mios, yeah.
Those are also good ways. And one of the other ways I think to get really a lot of water in is by using a straw. Believe it or not, whenever you use a straw, you're always taking bigger sips. And it definitely helps you to get more water intake in.
Yeah.
So I think those are quick little tips. Do you have anything else, Tom?
Yeah. Just carry around. What's that?
I know you put BCAAs in your water.
Yeah, I don't believe BCAAs are like magic at all, but they have electrolytes and those are great. So I definitely utilize that. And I usually tell people just bring around like a heavy water bottle because even if you don't like drinking it, you're probably not going to love carrying it around, which is going to incentivize you drinking it. like this is a 40-ounce bottle. This is, I think, a 26 or a 30-ounce bottle. And I'm like, my bag would be so much lighter and less like annoying to carry if I drank all of it by the end of the day. So at the end of the day, both of those are empty and I have lots of water in. So I would just bring around a reusable bottle that's pretty fairly big.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that because
Yeah.
it is a pain to carry it. I
Yeah.
never thought
Well,
about
it's
like, oh,
empty.
yeah, exactly. That's a good point. So, all right, I think we covered water. Let's move on to drink number two.
Oh,
And drink number two, let's do the drum roll, Tom. We got protein powder. Protein. Again, we've talked about this so many times, but protein is vital when it comes to actually losing weight. You can, calories in versus calories out is going to tell your body, like, hey, you need to drop fat, right? So we're not arguing that. But when your protein intake is high enough, your body's going to drop more fat than it would muscle. Whereas if your protein intake is really low, you have a chance of dropping more muscle than actual body fat. And then you're going to end up with, a slower metabolism and a body that doesn't really look as good as you want it to look naked. So you need to be having more protein. And one of my rules when it comes to fat loss is making sure that you don't drink your calories except when it comes from protein powder. Because I think the average person listening to this has a hard time getting in their amount of protein that they need. I mean, I just did a nutrition call with someone, the guy's in his 270 and he's having a hard time hitting 210 grams of protein. So, protein is not easy for everybody to consume. That's why I think having a good quality protein shake at certain intervals throughout the day is very, very important to help you to lose weight and lose the right kind of weight. Not just lose weight in the scale, but lose actual body fat. So that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, I think if we're looking at protein itself, protein as a macronutrient, we've probably said it before, is the most filling macronutrient there is compared to carbs and fats when you equate the calories. So 100 calories worth of fats and 100 calories worth of protein, the protein will make you more full per, 100 calories, right? Because that's just what it does to your body. And not to mention protein shakes, you can blend them, which are extremely filling. If you've ever put like 2 scoops of protein in a blender with ice and like a banana, or forget the banana, just ice, one, you're going to drink it pretty slow because it's like frozen almost. And two, it's going to be a fair amount of liquid. It's like a smoothie at that point. So it's very filling, very filling. If you're like, I used to struggle with like not eating before bed. Like I would want to eat more food before bed, and I would say, all right, well, if I'm going to have anything, I'm going to have a scoop or a scoop and a half of protein, and I would just put a ton of ice in it and a little bit of xanthan gum because that like it's a expanding agent, and that would fill me up to like the morning. So protein's very filling. It's very low calorie as well. Not to mention most people, like you said, are deficient in protein. So why not?
Yeah, agreed. Plus, they taste good. A good protein shake, like you said, if you do it the right way and you blend it, especially if you use the xanthan gum,
Yeah,
it can be like ice cream, and you could literally sit there and
yeah,
eat. So it's not bad at all. Not bad at all.
yeah.
But how much? How much protein do you need, right? That's the question. And I think, again, I don't know who's listening to this on the other end of this or who's watching this, but a general rule is about 1 gram per pound of body weight as a general rule. So if you're 200 pounds listening to this, you want about 200 grams of protein every day. Again, just a straight general rule. So the how much, again, it's going to boil down to you. Are you getting enough protein in your diet regularly? Like, are you eating, proteins throughout the day? Chicken, fish, steak, egg whites, things like that. And is that amount equaling up to that 200? Then you might not need protein powder. But if you're not, then I would definitely recommend getting it. And I think that kind of goes into my next one, which is when should I take protein powder? Because I get that question a lot too. The answer is it's whenever it's going to be the most convenient for you. I believe the best time of day to have a good quality protein is in the morning when you first wake up. Your body is deprived of food at that point. You've went the whole night without sleeping. So giving your body the building blocks it needs to retain muscle is so important, I believe, in the morning. So having a good quality protein as soon as you get up, I think is ideal to helping you to get on the body that you want, and to retain as much muscle as possible. So that's usually when I use protein powder. A lot of people use it after the workout. You can do that too. There's nothing wrong with that. You could do it before bed, like Tom mentioned. Protein is just food. So it's essentially, it's like whenever you normally would eat food, you could replace it with protein powder. But I do believe that it's a little bit more beneficial in the morning as soon as you first wake up. Again, because breakfast foods aren't loaded with protein. You know, oh, I got egg whites and bacon on a roll or whatever. It's like 20 grams of protein in that. Whereas if you had 2 scoops of protein before that, now you're up to 70 for the day. You're pretty much, you know, if you need 200, you're a quarter of the way there.
Yeah, most people skip breakfast too. So like lunchtime, dinner time, they're starving and they have like 4 ounces of like chicken or fish, and then they go into like this carb and fat dense meal. And then they're full from that. So the protein's even getting a back burner from there. So morning time is definitely good. You can use it. I mean, really, it's for convenience too. So whatever works best for you. But morning time is probably like more of a general, like, you know, how to for protein. Just easy.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. 2 scoops goes a long way. I definitely think
Yeah.
someone listening to this, regardless of size, I think if you're going to use protein powder, you need to use at least 1.5 scoops, 2 scoops. 1 scoop is really not going to do much unless you're trying to fill a hole. Let's say you're 20 grams of protein short for the day, then yeah, then you would probably use 1 scoop. But again, general, I would say at least 1.5 scoops to 2 scoops minimum, I think is the best for most people. Do you agree, Tom?
Yeah, I could definitely get behind that.
Yeah, I think that that's a good general rule. But yeah, number 2, protein powder. Simple, easy. And again, you don't even have to drink protein powder. That's one of the things, you know, this is the drinks to lose weight. But you don't have to even drink protein powder. Like I said, you can make it like the ice cream like Tom said. Or you can even put it in a bowl, add a little bit of water, and make like pudding with it. And it's actually
Yeah.
really good to do it that
You
way.
could make mug cakes with it. You could make
Yeah.
pancakes with it. I mean, it's a very versatile food because it is a food. I mean, the I've actually made you know what I did once, and this is how you can tell I was dieting at the time. Um, but I had enough calories to make pancakes, but I had nothing to add to the pancakes except for protein. So I was like, what the hell am I gonna make with like just a scoop or a scoop and a half protein? So I did protein powder, a scoop of protein powder, PB Fit, and I mixed it and I did like a peanut butter drizzle, a vanilla peanut butter drizzle over the pancakes, and I was like, damn, this is good. And it's all protein. So, I mean, listen, that's
Mix it
just
with
that
Greek
that's
yogurt and do
the
the same
snap.
thing.
What's that?
Mix it with Greek yogurt and do the same
I
thing.
do that all the time. If
Yeah.
anybody hates the flavor of Greek yogurt and you're still struggling to get in protein, mix it with any flavor of protein powder. You don't need to sweeten it because the protein's already sweetened. You don't need to do anything else with it because it just tastes great. And then that's a lot of protein. You're getting 20 grams from the scoop of protein, and then probably about, I would say 15 to 25 from the Greek yogurt, which is a lot. That's you know, that's filling the gap for sure.
It was funny. I was the client that I was just on the nutrition call with before, right before this, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. You know, he was talking about getting in protein in extra ways. So I told him you could even use liquid egg whites and add a scoop of
Yeah.
protein to the liquid egg whites and shake it and drink it. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's disgusting," but liquid egg whites are pasteurized, so you
Yeah.
can actually do that. And
It's really
then
not that bad too.
nah, it kills my stomach. I can't do it. I don't know for whatever reason the egg whites kill my stomach like that. I can cook them and have them and be fine, but when I drink them raw like that, it kills my stomach. So I can't do that. But it's a quick and convenient way. I mean, think about it. A liquid egg white carton, the little one, is 50 grams of protein. So if you mix that with 1 scoop of protein, that's 75 grams of protein
Yeah.
in one thing. That's quick and easy. You don't have to think about
Yeah.
it. But we're going way off
Yeah.
topic at this point. But so that was number 2, protein powder. And number 3, and this is the one that like I was kind of dreading talking about because I already know like some people are gonna whine and complain. But number 3, diet anything. Diet soda, diet Sprite, diet
Well, sir.
orange soda, diet iced tea, anything that is 0 calorie, Crystal Light, seltzer, anything like that. Again, these things will help you to lose weight because they curb hunger. Obviously, if you're hungry and you drink that, it's going to curb your appetite. Again, fill up your stomach. It'll help you hit your water intake. And a lot of people think and are under and I know people are going to whine and complain, oh, but the aspartame and this and that. And it's like people forget, the, you need so, and again, I want to keep this very, very simple. I don't want to go overboard with the studies and this and that, but you need like a crazy amount of aspartame to do anything for it to be even a little bit harmful. I forget what the actual, I think it's like 30 cans of diet soda to actually like be harmful a day or in like a sitting. I don't even think it was like in a day. I think it was in a sitting. So it's like a ridiculous amount that you would need for it to be harmful in any way.
Yeah.
So
it's probably not going to do anything like really crazy that day. Like you probably need like a week of eating or drinking that much diet soda for it to actually like, hurt you. Which is like that you're pretty much trying to get hurt at that point. If you're drinking 30 cans of soda every day for about a week or longer, it's like what you're either testing it out or just trying to, I don't know. That's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, and again, I get why people like freak out about it, like, oh, because there's all these things linked to cancer and this and that. But like in some of those studies, they fed like the mice ridiculous amounts of aspartame. Like that's not even equivalent to having in a human dose. So again, I think it has a lot more positives than it does negatives. Like I said, it definitely curbs your appetite. It'll definitely keep you fuller. And it's just something that, again, like if you enjoy like an iced tea and you switch it to a diet iced tea or a calorie-free iced tea, you're still getting like diet Snapple to me tastes the same as regular Snapple. So, it's still like having a Snapple. I'm still having a Snapple. I'm still enjoying it. And you also get to save calories. So, for example, if I was going out to eat with my wife and we went to lunch somewhere and, whatever, let's just say I normally got a soda, which I've never had a soda, I don't think in such a long time. But let's say I normally get a soda and now I have to account for that extra 200-300 calories that I would get from the soda in that one meal. And remember, if you go out to eat, typically they keep refilling your glass. So it's probably like closer to 500-600 calories in liquid. But if I replace that with diet soda, now I just saved myself, 300-600 calories easily. And I still was able to kind of like enjoy my meal and still enjoy, the ambiance of wherever I was. So again, it's just an easy way to help you lose weight, save calories. Because when you're trying to diet and lose body fat, you have to try to save as many calories as you can for real food that'll keep you fuller.
I think that's what people kind of like get a little bit like too focused on. They get focused on like these like little rocks, which is like the ingredients to diet soda and stuff. And if it causes your body like not really a reaction, but if it upsets your stomach, just switch to something like seltzer, which has literally nothing in it. It's just carbonated water. The goal with like the beverages like that are to fill you up. So it's tastier water. So it's going to make you want to drink it. So you're getting more hydration. It's going to help suppress your hunger. And when anything is carbonated, the carbonation is going to fill you up more than regular like non-carbonated beverages do. So that's really why we put it in, because we were like, well, if you have a diet soda and you're trying to not eat, like that'll probably do well for like maybe 20, 30, 40 minutes or so, depending on how much you have, of course. I would say, because a lot of people are not aware of this, but diet sodas, a lot of them contain caffeine. So you probably don't want to drink it at dinner time or like in the evening, because it's just going to keep you up. And the longer you're up, the more you might want to look for food. And, there's a whole like rabbit hole of potentially eating more food there. But diet soda or non-caffeinated diet sodas earlier on in the day, or even seltzer, are a great way to kind of like fill or trick your body into thinking that you're full, so you could push your meals back or just make sure you have more hunger. What's the word I'm looking for? You can control your hunger more to make sure you can get in the calories you need. It's all about controlling calories, not to sound like, a simplistic overview, but the big rocks are focusing on calorie control. The little rocks are, okay, what about my diet doesn't make me feel that good?
And guys, you have to, one of the things that I want to remind you too is you have to remember the devil's in the dose with anything. Too much of anything can kill you. Like if I have a headache, and I use this example all the time, but if I have a headache, and would I take 2 Tylenol or would I take 6? Well, I'm going to take 2 because 6 is not going to make the headache go away faster. And it's the same thing. If you overdo anything, you're going to get sick from it. Something's going to happen. But if you keep it in moderation, and look, if the diet soda, or we keep saying diet soda, but if whatever, the diet drink, Crystal Light, whatever it is stopping you from eating an extra 300 calories every day. So let's do that math. I got my handy calculator with me. So let's say it saves you 300 calories every day. 300 times 52 days in a year is 15,600 calories. Divide that by 3,500 because that's how much is in 1 pound. So you're essentially saving yourself close to 5 pounds of body fat just by switching the diet to whatever the diet, the zero calorie from the regular. You're saving yourself 4 to 5 pounds of body fat on your frame. Less.
That's
just because of that
just
one
for beverages alone, too. That's just
Just
for
that one
beverages
switch.
alone.
Yeah, just that one switch. And that's typically one of the major switches we make to people early on when they come to us for personal training is we generally look at their diet and just say, okay, look, let's stop with liquid calories. Don't get anything liquid unless it's a protein shake. And that usually right there will help them to lose their first 10 to 15 pounds right there. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a simple thing. And like I said, the devil's in the dose. So if you feel a certain way about it, but you still want the benefits of it, maybe have one a day. Or maybe don't have any if you don't feel like you need it. Or maybe use it as, when you feel like you need it or when you feel like you're too full. That's another strategy you could use. Listen, you can use regular water too, but I think there's a benefit, like I said, when you're down and you're tired and whatever, and you grab something like that, it can pick you up. So again, that's it. Those are the 3 drinks. Drink these things to lose weight. Water, protein powder, Diet Coke, Diet Pop, whatever you want to call it. Those 3 things. Don't mix them together. Well, don't mix the last one in there. That probably wouldn't be good. Actually, I don't know.
Wait a minute. Diet root beer and vanilla protein?
Yes. So there you go, guys. You can
Bad.
mix all 3 together, and you will lose weight even faster that way. Can you blend the diet root beer? Can you blend that? Because it's coffee. If you shook it, isn't it going to explode the
I
bottle?
don't think you would need to, though, because I've actually tried making a root beer float with diet soda, and I did cream soda too. You definitely can't shake it.
Yeah.
Like in the blender, there has to be a vent for the air to get out, or else you're gonna pop the top and it's gonna go everywhere. But I've tried making a root beer float with vanilla protein. You just blend up a thick vanilla shake and then pour the root beer in it.
That makes sense, actually. That's
Diet root beer in it, and it's delicious.
That's a good point. So there you go, guys. That's how you can add all these 3 drinks in and make one. Mix the protein like normal, then add in the diet root beer, and you guys are good to go. Well, we're going to leave you on that. If you guys are interested in stepping up to the next level, click that link below, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.